Why are superhero films alluring to so many people? What makes them so popular? In the current year, 2021, superhero movies and TV shows are extremely popular, and it almost feels like they grow in popularity about every decade. At this point, watching media that involves comic book heroes is no longer seen as nerdy. It's definitely pretty mainstream. What's the reason for that? Today I'm going to be diving into certain reasons why I think people love superhero films. Before we get started, I want to acknowledge that most of the clips I will show are from MCU films, as they are in my opinion the pinnacle of superhero movies and also the most successful. Please bear in mind that these are just my opinions and not facts. I think people love these type of films because of the relatable characters. Most of the heroes are, regular people who are given a power, and if that power
comes great responsibility.
the typical hero of a superhero film wants to protect their family, the world, and/or their loved ones. They do what's morally right. A lot of these characters also work super hard to achieve their goal, and they'll fail at some point, but they'll come back up. Everyone loves, a tough, hardworking underdog that puts in, 110% effort and, achieves their goal. A lot of people love high action, high intensity movies. From a neutral point of view, I think it's really exciting to see, fast paced fight scenes with big explosions, effects, CGI, and sounds. And, most superhero films, they kind of have to be visually creative and almost stunning. And in my opinion, they're generally pretty fun to watch, which would attract pretty much anyone of any age to watch that. So in short, superhero movies are jam-packed with fight scenes, which a lot of people really enjoy, naturally. Everyone needs something that distracts you, from the real world issues. And that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It could be unhealthy if you're doing it too much, but everyone needs that escape. Superhero movies kind of serve as a form of that, escapism for so many people. They can genuinely have fun and feel engrossed in a fictional story, that may or may not be realistic, but it doesn't really matter because it's fun to imagine a world with superpowers. I think most people would suddenly want to gain superpowers, maybe for at least one day, and try it out a couple times. Superpowers is something we know will probably never exist. Definitely never exist. Which is why the idea of it is so alluring to us. It doesn't have to be an intellectually stimulating movie, which, can relax a lot of people. You can just sit down there, watch all the action that's going on, or you can get engrossed into the story. But either way, it's going to be interesting and stimulating. And some people even use superhero films as a way to kind of go back into like a time when they were younger and feel that nostalgic type of thing. Humans are an imaginative species that, they want what they can't understand. Because we don't understand the way the world completely works, we've tried our hardest to learn the things we can. The fact that there might be things out there that are intangible or unexplainable completely mystifies us. In a similar manner, superhuman abilities mystify and excite us. We'd love to see abilities that look cool, but we know that probably won't happen, like I said before. But the possibility that, maybe in some alternative universe, people could naturally be like this is an interesting thought that we can all sort of dwell on. The last and possibly most important alert I want to talk about today is the emotional attachment that we have to these characters in superhero films. When characters that we love suffer, we suffer with them. When characters die, we feel emotional. When they're happy, we rejoice with them. Superhero films in general do a pretty good job of giving characters good motivations and making them sympathetic, so it's natural for us, to feel pain when they do. I'd argue that, the biggest reason why people love these type of movies and why people continue to watch sequels is because we feel that emotional attachment to characters. For example, a lot of people, kept up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU for short, for about a decade, from like 2009 to 2019. It's still going on, but from Iron Man to Endgame. When Infinity War finished, and half the characters we know and loved are gone or dead, we felt anguish. We could not wait until Endgame came out to figure out their fates. When Endgame came out, so many tuned in to watch it, and it became one of the highest grossing films of all time. A lot of these viewers came to see the story of the MCU come to a close because of how much they truly loved and enjoyed everything about this series, including the characters. It really cannot be understated how important characters are to a good story and a good movie in general. So when you're considering a superhero film that kind of relies on, those characters with the cool abilities and also cool personalities, character development and characterization is super important. From a personal point of view, I really like superhero movies. I like movies that pretty much use any of the tropes that we, commonly see in superhero movies, like in Spider-Man 2. Though I do like these kind of tropey movies, I think the superhero movies that I enjoy the most are the ones that kind of subvert our expectations, like The Dark Knight, or Joker if you want to consider that a superhero movie. In general, I just love movies, TV shows, and animations where characters have superhuman abilities. Anyways, thanks for listening to my video essay. I had a lot of fun talking about something I really enjoy, so I hope you enjoyed it as well. I'm Khalil McFarlane, and thanks for tuning in.